joined by Elena Holmes today. She's one of our business club members. So straight over to you, Elena. Thanks for joining me. Tell us a bit more about what you do.
Hello all, thank you for inviting me to share what I do. I'm a registered nutritional therapist, so I work both with individual people who want to improve or maintain their health through nutrition and lifestyle changes and improvements. I also love doing talks and different workshops, be it support groups like diabetes, for example, group or mental health group, or interest groups, for example, vegan groups. I love busting nutritional myths. And if you look in social media or any media or TV and so on, those myths are everywhere, pervading everything. So it's one of my main hobbies, just to sort of to bust them and explain why those myths appeared and why they are what they are. Sometimes I write blogs, short blogs. Sometimes I write longer, more sciencey articles, so a bit of research as well. So yeah, different things, as I think every one of us in our little businesses does. So yeah.
Oh, great. I'll have to check out some of these myths. I love a myth busting
yeah.
thing.
Oh yes, there's plenty of that in nutrition.
So how did you tell us about how you got into this career then? Have you always done this kind of thing?
Oh no, not at all. And there is a huge thing, which is not a myth, I can tell you. It's midlife crisis. So my background was clinical psychology. And then I got something like 20-year-old crisis, and I decided to do something completely different. So I did my musical studies. And some 15 to 20 years were dedicated to me being an early musician. But I always missed science. And at some point, I decided that I wanted to go back to something much more sciencey and much more exhausting and financially precarious as music was. Because you think that being self-employed is precarious, but being a self-employed musician, that is precarious. So yes, also another massive reason why I decided to do what I do was that I've always been interested in seeing how whatever we do in life, how it affects our health and well-being, mental health, emotional health, and physical health. And yeah, I just noticed that how what I do in my nutrition, both good things and sometimes very naughty things, how I feel afterwards, how certain nutritional habits influence my long-term health and energy and sports performance and mental performance. Yes, and I found it increasingly fascinating. So I started sort of non-officially consulting some of my friends when I was still working as a musician. So yes, but then again, I decided that I need to do that seriously. And it was, that crisis, middle-age crisis, when I thought I need to do something different. So all very serendipitously happened at the same time. And yes, I did my nutritional therapy studies, postgraduate diploma, and then master's dissertation. And the rest is history. So I've been doing this full time for 5 years already. So yes, so that's sort of a long story of several decades in a couple of minutes.
No, that's all really interesting. But you mentioned then that you have been self-employed throughout the different changes.
Yes.
So how did you come about that and working for yourself then? Or was that something that you just knew you were always going to do?
it just happened because, yes, I mean, being a musician, it was just you play with whoever pays you and you get some pupils as well. So it just happened. I had absolutely no idea about anything business related. So yeah, it just happened, and somehow sort of a little bit of common sense helped me to, well, to deal with the monetary side. Usually it was just I'm gonna die, but still somehow worked. But yeah, it was, yeah, it just happened. However, when I graduated and I started my nutrition business, that was totally different because that sort of totally word of mouth model has worked when I was a musician. I noticed that no, it does not work. At least it does not work when you start your new business. So yeah, so then I also became interested in networking and also tried to gain some marketing knowledge and all that side of the things that I've never been interested in, to be honest.
And what, I suppose, what was the biggest challenge around that then? Because obviously there's a lot of people out there, I guess, that are probably sitting and thinking, well, I do want to do my own thing, but where do I start? What do I do? You obviously, I guess, had maybe that courage from being a musician to know that you could just figure it out. But what's the most challenging kind of aspect of that?
Yeah. Well, I would not call it courage. It was more like sort of desperation or something, or
Okay.
courage
Let's
that
call it
grows
courage.
out of desperation. Yeah. The biggest challenge was everything related to marketing because I had no idea how much time, what a huge chunk of my working time the marketing will take. And I've talked to quite a few really experienced and really good people, marketers. So people who really know way more than I do. But again, even they confirm that, yes, it's at least half of your business time is marketing. Then, of course, it depends on your business type, it depends on how long you have been in the business and many other things. So that proportion changes, but when you start business, oh gosh, I'm sure that's for everyone. It's just that marketing bit. I thought it's all nice consultations and science and continuous professional development events, and that will be what I will do. Well, it just hit me, it was mainly marketing at the beginning. So trying to get out there.
Great. And to contrast that then, what does success look like for you? How do you measure that?
Um, I measure it, well, first of all, according to the feedback from my clients and patients, because yeah, when they say that since they started seeing me, the health improved massively, the medication decreased massively, energy is over the top. So yeah, that's extremely rewarding. Of other things, it's probably that I get new people who were recommended by my ex-clients. So again, that's I think that's quite a measure of, because otherwise, they would say, oh, she ran away screaming from her, she will destroy us. So again, so probably that, yes. Otherwise, oh, I don't know.
No,
So
that's great.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it's got to be a lot about how it makes who you spend time with feel, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And what about for you in terms of your, kind of where you want to take your business and how much you work, how little you work, and all that sort of stuff? Do you have an idea of where you want to take it in terms of that?
Yes, well, you can hear how convinced I am. Uh, I'm quite interested in teaching and lecturing, so I would like to move in that direction. And it could be even academia, although there are certain aspects in academia that I really dislike because there's quite a bit of backbiting, there's quite a bit of harsh competition, so some unpleasant sides. But I would like, yes, to go more into education and into sort of, yes, more, we could say, group work, and yes,
Yeah,
more educational work, because I find that extremely interesting and again very rewarding in a different sense. So
great.
I like explaining things, that's it. So
Yeah, I mean, and we're always having to adapt and change, aren't we? And if you can find that thing that obviously you like to do, then even better.
yes, exactly.
Great, great, great. So, um, what about Empower then, in terms of your membership to Empower, and obviously you've been around in the group for a little while now. What
Yeah.
do you like about Empower? What do you get from it?
Oh, I love the inspiration. There are so many different people from so many different backgrounds. Incredible. The more you hear some stories, the more impressed and, yeah, flabbergasted you become. So, and the hive mind, because whatever you ask, you will get some answer. And actually you will get many, many answers and very many ideas, and they are usually all very constructive and very interesting. So it's, yeah, so that whole sort of variety of knowledge, expertise, kindness, and everything, helpfulness. So yes, and just a bunch of extremely interesting people. So yeah, and of course we all business owners, we are all small businesses, we all do it mainly by ourselves, and that again, that gives that sense of connection, that I'm not on my own to sort of trying to keep my head above the water. Step, so it's, yeah,
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's so important, that, isn't it, to sort of think,
yes,
I'm not the only one doing this.
absolutely. And I think, yes, that's one of the main things about Empower that I really like.
Yeah, and what about in terms of networking then? You obviously mentioned networking and meeting other people, and have you gained any clients and referrals from the Empower Club?
I think I had a couple of referrals. Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm sure. Yeah, not many.
Yeah,
But I think networking is not about, or not only about referrals. It's about knowing what's out there, what's going on. So whenever you need something, you know whom to look for. I have to say, I had a couple of referrals, but I myself found so much help and so many little businesses that sort of I got
great.
help with from Empower. So
Yeah, so it's sort of helped you with your business in a maybe slightly different way, in the
yes,
sense of,
or yes, or even with my life, like I found a
yeah,
fantastic, for example, a person who framed a print for me.
yeah, yeah,
So, even those things for everyday things,
yeah.
you need it, look at Empower and you will find it. So, or you will get some,
Somebody.
yes, you will get somebody, you will get some information where to find it.
That's fantastic. Great. And so, what would you say to anyone who's sort of on the fence and thinking about joining us?
Oh, it's absolutely worth it. It's, yeah. And you don't need to be active, proactive, and participate in everything. I don't. Yes, I'm not a networker, but once in a while, I just love being there. So yes, you don't need to be a master businessman, businesswoman, master networker. Just you will be accepted as you are. So just come as you are, and yeah, and you will see how, yeah, it's worth it.
Oh, wonderful. That's lovely to know that it feels so welcoming.
It does. It absolutely does. Yes, and it's very, sort of very highly professional, but very not low key. That would not be the exact way to say, but yeah, extremely accepting.
Yeah,
Absolutely, totally accepting. So
great. Thank you very much. And we'll share the links and things to your business and services too, so that everyone can see a bit more about you and what you offer.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking the time today, Eleanor. Lovely to talk to you.
Likewise, and my pleasure.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
you. Thank you.